Okay, so note that this thing is buried on my hard drive 3 ways from Sunday. All these maps are buried on my hard drive. So I'm going to show you a way to get all these maps out of my hard drive and onto one folder and then reduce down in size. Okay? This is something that new students lack because I've seen upwards to these huge turn-ins that are like a gig just for a small OBJ, and it's just downrightly ridiculous. So please pay close attention to this. It follows you through all lessons. You don't give your instructor or you don't give your person in the industry like a 1 gigabyte folder filled with textures. They're going to ask for a certain size and, et cetera and so forth. But right now, these are super textures. These are 4096. We got to reduce those down. So let's go to Project and Set. And on the desktop, I'm going to use a blank folder. And it's going to just because I know I want you guys to turn it in. I want first name, last name, skull. And I'm going to just set this. Okay. Now, what I want to do is go File, Export All. And I'm going to export it right here in this directory and call it skull. Has to be OBJ. Now, if this OBJ exporter is not on, this is located under Window, Rendering Editors, Plugin, and you have to turn OBJ exporter on. Okay, it's located right here. Put a check mark in those boxes. Then you can go Export All, and it will show up. Notice it defaults to that folder because I set that project. Here, I'm just going to call this skull. And I put an OBJ here just because it's easier for me to find it later on as an OBJ. Alright, so what did that do? Well, by exporting it as an OBJ, it should export all the maps too. So let's click on this again. File, Export All, and turn on Materials. There we go. Okay. Look at that. It packages it all in one folder for me. These are all the ones I'm using right now. Notice it did only the ones that it knew how to do, however. It did not give me my diffuse, and it did not give me my special effect. Okay? Some materials are like that. Some channels do not export as an OBJ. So, in this case, I want to take and throw this one in here. And I like my special effect one, so I'm going to keep that. I don't want I want the TIFF, not the PSD. Okay, so this is what I have so far. And what I usually do, just for archival purposes, I'll rename this folder HRes. So this is my high res, and I will then duplicate it. And rename this low res, or LR. And then the painful process of doing this, usually what I'm going to do is quit Photoshop CS5 just to get rid of everything. Then I'm going to open all these in CS5 at once. Now this could take a couple seconds because they're all 50 megs. So if you have a slow machine, be careful with this workflow. Another way you could do this is open it all 4 or 5 of them in Photoshop at once instead of clicking and dragging it down. You'll have a better security of knowing that it's going to open. Alright, now, sometimes I just take some shortcuts here, like actions, for example. Let me just make a new one that says 2048. And this action is just going in here and go image size 2048. And then I'm going to stop that action. This will allow me to quickly go in here and just push a button rather than try to do it all at once. So I'll keep it on 2048. Just boom, boom. There we go. So they're now all 2048. This is a fast way to do it. And then I'm going to get them out of their TIFF stage because I need you to turn this into me, but I need them very, very low res in order for you to do that. And 2048 is, I want to keep that, but I'm going to have them made as JPEGs. And usually I hate doing this because JPEGs are just evil, but they're very small and they're easy to turn into me. So keep in mind, you don't do this professionally very often. Okay, I'm going to keep with the naming convention. I'm just going to go save as. And of course, if you need to, you can create an action just like I did before. And all that action would be is doing this step. Okay, so this one. And this is a process that takes so long and just a lot about archival of your work and, just keeping very good naming conventions on things. Because that's what I'm going to be grading you on. I'm going to be grading you on your naming conventions, your organization skills, and everything else. It all travels down. So here's my low res, and what I'm going to do is take all the TIFFs in here. I'm going to make sure each one lines up. Yep, spec, text. So get rid of these. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is take this scene, save scene as, and it's going to have a heart attack. It doesn't know what to do with the textures. They're gone. What happened? And I'm going to have to set this project somewhere else because it sees that directory as bad for some reason. Oh, because I changed it. Yeah, that'll do it. So now I'm going to be able to save it, and it saves fine. Yep. So I'll name this skull. And I'm going to save it in both spots just for archival purposes. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is trick the system into believing that everything changed over to JPEG. So I'm going to resave it back as low res. And all I do here is click on a texture, click the folder, and click its doppelganger JPEG. Okay. In this fact, it's ambient occlusion. And I do that for each one of these. Now that's going to take a while. So when you're done, please meet me in the next video.